All right, it's time to turn our attention to another story now. The outbreak of a tomato Ebola disease this year affected the crop's production grossly. The commodity was scarce and its price soared.
Indeed. Now, the situation has since been redeemed, and Nigerians hope it doesn't reoccur. Now, that's good news. Lara Folayon reports more about that.
Fresh, juicy tomatoes on display for sale. This commodity was extremely scarce some time ago, a situation the authorities blamed on the infestation of crops by the tuta absoluta, a tomato Ebola disease. They say this disease has been in existence for long and came into Nigeria from Niger Republic.
The pest was found as far back as 1912 in South America. And it ravaged many tomato farms and then got to Europe, the Middle East, Asia, and Africa, and came into Nigeria from Niger Republic. Now the disease then began eating off the leaves and then boring the fruits and the stems, and production then declined severely.
But Nigerians did not find the situation funny, as purchasing tomatoes for cooking was just too expensive.
The thing was very, very high, and though we were buying it at the rate of 700 or something before, all of a sudden we just, when we went to the market to buy it, I went to the market, it was now 4,000, 4,500.
My business wasn't affected by the rise in tomato prices because I had the money to purchase the commodity. No matter how expensive tomatoes become, I will still be able to buy them for sale.
You know, if I buy 100, people will come buy.
The scarce tomato situation worsened, but the authorities assured the public of working to fight the disease. Somehow, things improved, and tomato was once again as accessible as before.
Now we don't come down. Now we're buying 15,000.
The prices have come down. We now buy a basket for between 12 to 50,000 naira, and we make reasonable profits.
Yeah, for the one basket when you buy.
We feel better. It's good now. Where the tomato is coming down small now, so we now buy 100 naira, 200. If you go paper, we buy this leather 100 naira. So it's better now. Before it's 200 now. They are selling it.
6 Nigerian states were affected by the tomato Ebola disease. The disease is believed to be highly resistant to insecticides. It also has the capacity of spreading to crops like pepper and Irish potatoes. Lara Folayo, TVC News, Abuja.
All right, it's good to know that the worst is over as far as tomatoes is concerned in Nigeria. But we're joined now by an agriculturist and tomato paste producer, Eric Umeofioa. Glad to have you join us this morning. I mean, you definitely were, directly affected by this tuta absoluta, also known as tomato Ebola. You do manufacture. What's the situation right now? Especially because, I mean, we've heard that 2 major tomato producing companies had to shut down. Is this, I mean, was your company one of those?
Thank you. Actually, we are the biggest tomato company in Africa and 4th largest in the whole world, Erisco Foods Limited. And tuta absoluta affected us, but not as much as to shut down. Okay. We didn't shut down because we've been trying to help the economy as a whole. Since 3 years, there was tuta absoluta in this country. And
3 years?
Yeah, 3 years ago. And 3 years ago, we've been shouting and telling whoever cares to know that there's need for government to help the farmers to be able to sustain some of the losses they bear sometimes and after farming. The problem wasn't tuta absoluta that caused tomato alone to be high. It's because the farmers farmed in the previous years, there wasn't profit, they lost money. Over 75% of tomato farm in this country are wasted.
So is post-harvest lost?
Yes, post-harvest lost. Then when they lost a lot, the last year, it wasn't, all the farmers didn't farm. Few farmers farmed on their farm, and tuta absoluta came, it made it to be worse. Not that it's only the because of the tuta absoluta. No, tuta absoluta came, and I want to tell you, already having solution.
Okay, so where do you get your tomatoes from?
We get our tomato from the north. We have our own farm. I'm a practical farmer, a practical manufacturer. We are from
100%.
Yeah, 100%.
You don't import anything?
Our machine was designed for the import before. Now we changed. Right now we are producing. We are the only tomato company in Nigeria now that is producing from Nigerian tomato paste.
So how are Nigerians really responding, or buying into the Made in Nigeria brand? I mean, considering the fact that Nigeria imports about 400 billion naira.
More than that, Nigerians spend 25 billion naira daily to import food product and $1 billion yearly on tomato paste importation. It will shock you. And we have two good weathers in this country. Better than China, better than Europe. Nobody can challenge our weather. We have better available lands with less chemicalized land. And nobody is caring. We are importing paste from China, substandard and fake, as confirmed by NAFDAC, where they have only one weather. And Europe, where they have one weather. It's a pity in this country that nobody cares to help this country to grow.
Okay, some will say that the seedlings they get from outside the country is better than what we have here in Nigeria. Is it true?
What they will tell you is they are import cabals. They don't want the country to move forward. I want to tell you, Nigerian tomatoes, by every standard, is better than any tomato, because our land, what determines tomato is the weather and the seed.
What about the taste? Because the taste and the look, sometimes when you go into the supermarket, you see some very robust looking tomatoes. Those ones I was told were imported into the country, but the one you see on the roadside that looks not so beautiful are produced in Nigeria here.
Thank you. I want to tell you again, don't let them to deceive you. Always stick to what we farm in this country. Those ones that are so much robust, as you said, could be because of the way they tender their farms. It could be better. It depends on the variety of the seed. But I want to tell you, quality-wise, our tomato is excellent.
Yeah, but it's good for you to just say that. But Nigerians obviously are not hearing this enough. Or even if they're hearing, they're not buying into it. What exactly do you think is the problem?
Because we are much interested in patronizing foreign product, taking our money away, taking our wealth away. Supposing that some government agencies, MDAs, when NAFDAC is supposed to do the work, it's not doing the work. I'm not selling fresh tomato, I'm using fresh tomato as well. I buy from market also. I get from my farm, I buy from others. I want to tell you, I've tested them. Nothing like less quality on the brand. Nigerian tomato farm. Nigerian tomato is super quality. Go to your farm, their home, grand tomato of Nigerian, or get that one you say, then experiment them, you know what I'm saying.
Which one has this tangy, this sour taste? There's this particular...
No, it depends on, tomatoes you farm in the north. It depends on the sunshine, depends on the area you farm. There could be a slight change in the taste, but it doesn't make the quality to be...
And so is it possible to have, as it is, homogeneous kind of, unison kind of taste where
fruit,
even if it's produced in any part of the world, Nigeria, it tastes...
There could not be same taste. So it's something in tomato. But the problem we're having in tomato in particular is that the government agency that's in charge of tomato paste, control what to eat, is NAFDAC, they are wholly supporting importation. We were 9 factories in this country, indigenous. Now we are remaining 2 or 3. What is the problem? Our problem is that they continue to support foreign. They allow for standard to come in and keep stampeding the local ones. And there's no how can move for economic forward like that. They made their own report and said 91.1% of all tomato paste imported from China, Africa and Sub-Saharan. I have the report.
A report by NAFDAC?
Yeah, and by NAFDAC themselves.
That what?
That 91.1% of all the tomato imported into this country are fake and substandard.
Sorry,
then they were not implementing it.
But what exactly makes a tomato fake? I mean, are you saying it's not, gotten from the natural fruit that is put in the ground and grown? Is that what you're saying?
Tomato fruit is something like crude oil. You got crude oil, how you process it determines the type of petrol and diesel you get from there. So you get tomato concentrate from fresh, concentrate it. From concentrate, you now mix again the water the salt, to get it, heat it again to be tomato paste. But what they do, they get small quantity of that paste, like in a drum is expected to use 6 drums. They use 1 or 1.5 and put starch and color and make it to be better. That's why people are eating, and it's affecting health. Whoever wants to do, whoever continue to eat the foreign one, it's at own risk. I have the biggest company in this country. I owe it a duty to help my country to grow. Okay. I want to tell them the truth. Now that is covering them because they compromise.
Okay, so but that means NAFDAC itself is breaking its own law, because according to their rule, their act, the NAFDAC Act Section 5 and subsection A to E, it is they have the right not only to prosecute these people but shut them down. So if they are flouting their own laws, as it were, so NAFDAC is culpable in this case.
They are indeed. They are more. Their hands, their head, their legs are into it.
All right, let's bring in another guest of ours via Skype. She's a business development manager. Hadiza Yaro, good morning to you. Thanks for joining us on the show.
Good morning.
Yes, we do hear that you're actually on your farm now. Yes, there you are. Okay, so tell us about how this tuta absoluta has affected your farm. And we do hear that some progress has been made so far in terms of managing this disease. How is it, with you on your farm?
Okay, good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you. Well, for tuta absoluta that has ravaged the farms of so many farmers in Nigeria, especially in the Kano axis, has been a problem. But then there are some simple solutions which we can apply on the field to really help us out. Number one, you could use the pheromone traps. You could also use the netting. Right now, I'm in a place where I have nets all over the farm. As long as you can screen the insects out, you wouldn't have the incident. Right now, where I'm standing outside the farm, I have the tuta absoluta on the eggplant, and I have it in the tomato outside, which was not treated. But before then, we also have a field in Kano, which we have also tried to work with a company called Corporate, who has the integrated pest management control for tuta absoluta. We have applied on the field, and we have nearby farms, and it was not affected.
Okay, this particular chemical you just mentioned now, is it available to every Nigerian farmer? Can they just access it?
At the moment, no. We're trying to put it into test and convince the farmer it actually works. But I'm very sure if the Nigerian government is really ready to collaborate, there would be a good synergy between Nigerian government, Federal Ministry of Agri, as well as this company I'm talking about.
And speaking of that, how, in what way, if at all, has the Ministry of Health and Agri Ministry helped you in managing this challenge, that happened, that we hear has actually been there since for about 3 years now, but we only just really heard about it, most Nigerians, only this year. Was there any kind of assistance from government or, Ministry of Health, Agri?
No. At the moment, you hear a lot of efforts being made towards that, but practically on the field, I've not seen that. Most of the things we hear on the field are on trial stage because it has actually worked in other countries, which we're trying to borrow a leaf and use in our own farms to see it actually works.
Okay, you heard what she said. Did you use the chemical as well?
Actually, we're ahead of them in the issue of tomato in this country. Nobody's better than us in tomato.
Okay, fine. Did you use the chemical?
So the chemical is trying to say about it depends on many ways to solve a problem, actually. However, in our own farm, we developed it, we are not affected.
So you have the one that was. So have you helped other smaller farmers to also learn about this, your so-called
actually, it's the issue of, I want to correct one impression she's making, that absoluta is gone. It's not hurry yet. Until next absoluta work harder, better multiplication during the heat season. Okay, so what are doing now is rainy season. We can't go Ihuru now. Okay. Unless government come out and help this issue to put it under control. Worst of it is that the government should make sure that they are growing tomato, the off-takers are there. The farmers will be richer. They will continue to farm year in, year out. If they continue to allow people to be losing money from the farm, tuta absoluta is a minor thing for what is coming next year. Wow. Unless the government come up now, because we are set to help this nation. Use indigenous. These foreigners are deceiving us. They make us to believe they are doing the right thing, and they are killing us. So what they are going to do, when we went for the Mr. President last China trip, the Minister of Health to confront them, why are you killing us with substandard food? They said, no, it's you Nigerian businessmen came to lower our standard. We have standard. Big indictment to the Minister of Health, Minister of to NAFDAC.
To NAFDAC.
I called NAFDAC. Yeah. I reported the Minister of Health to intervene. NAFDAC fined me 1 million naira for even attempting to go and talk to the minister, say I advertised.
Now,
but if it's a country that are deceiving us, they're deceiving us, say they are safeguarding our lives. They are not safeguarding our lives, they're safeguarding their pocket. They're killing more people than what they expected.
Speaking of which,
we can't leave them to continue like this.
Nigeria's population is projected to get to around 400 million in another by 2050. Tomato Ebola is already affecting Irish potato, like we hear, and even pepper. What do you think government needs to do right now? Especially, I mean, I'm even wondering, the chemicals you say you use, how safe are these chemicals?
Actually,
and is it safe for Nigeria to begin to even tinker with the idea of genetically modified food?
I don't think that one is matured yet. However, in the chemical industry, not only the chemical actually, you have to do timing. We tell government we have find a solution. Timing, clear the land, apply some types of fertilizer and chemical before even the farming, before you farm. So these things are not easy to come by. We spend money to get them out. And when the government asks you what is it, then you can give them. I don't even need money from them, but they are not caring to. They don't believe that Nigeria can do better. And it's paining me that this economy. No person is planning the economy in China and India for them. No Nigeria is there planning for them. But they invite China and India here to plan our economy. It can never work. They will continue to make economy to suit them. We are into second colonization of economy in this country. Nobody knows that one. We lose too much money, and we have a lot of money, a lot of work to help our people, but many people are not getting work.
All right, let's bring Hadiza in now. Yeah. Hadiza, you want to react to what our guest in the studio is talking about in terms of food security. Do you think Nigeria is well prepared for the population explosion that has been predicted?
Yes, I think I can see a trend changing, because you could actually see an attitudinal change towards people. Everybody wants to go into agric. With the crash in oil, you can actually see people doing some backyard farming, people going back to the farm. So I think it's all about taking what we just started serious, and I'm sure food security would not be a challenge to Nigerians if at all everybody goes back to the farm.
Now, under the last administration, quite a lot was achieved, according to some, watchers, that, especially in the area of providing fertilizer and all of that for farmers. I believe you've been in farming for quite a while. How did that help you, and what has changed now, if at all? Has it changed for the better or, for the worse in terms of, fertilizer and other things that you need to stay afloat?
Well, looking at business, for me as an individual, I don't really rely on government or fertilizer being distributed. For any serious-minded person, if you want to go into business, I think you have to count your costs and just go into business. But at the moment, I see a lot of move towards ensuring that Nigeria is self-sufficient in agriculture.
Okay, all right. Hadiza, Yaro, many thanks for your time on TVC Breakfast this morning. We appreciate your thought and your contributions. We still have Eric Umeofioa in the studio with us here. And I'd like us to just touch a little on the promise that government made around 2015 when we talked about establishing 2 export crop handling, preservation and conditioning centers. Do you think do you know if that was established?
It wasn't. Anyway, in terms of, I heard you saying that former government make a progress in agriculture. I don't think so. I've been in this business for 6 years now, and we've been frustrated all through until President Brian came to the power. I wanted to send my factory away. President Brian came and made us to even say and produce goods up to 20% now. So in the issue of agriculture, they are just telling you stories until this government come in. And with this government program, that's why we are still here, trying to help the nation to grow, because the president wants the economy to grow. It may interest you that I have challenged those people that said it's not possible to make tomato in this country. Come to debate that I pay. They run away. Importers, NAFDAC, Minister of Trade, that wants to everybody to shut down for the importers to come. I challenge them, come, I will pay. They run away.
Before we let you go, the issue of storage is a major problem. Like you did say, 75% of tomatoes actually go to waste.
Yes.
How are you,
I tell you, you need to, I will invite you to come to my factory to see what we are doing.
Okay.
I would love to
We are
do that.
putting, to this moment, 4.2 billion naira in the hands of farmers of tomato between Katsina, Kano, Jigawa, Zamfara, all through all the belt, through our outgrowers. We preserve tomato here in this country more than any other person. To preserve tomato, as you are thinking, that's what we call tomato refinery. It costs between $30 million to $50 million to make a factory. The type of the big factory. And I am proud to finance in this country. They don't want to hear, the company money is 15 years. They want to hear that one. CBN is not helping me as a expert.
So I was wondering how that the policies will help you.
They give to people, foreigners, to send their way without CBN knowing. So we are managing ourselves now to use what we preserved in the last season to produce right now in my factory. I preserved enough, but it's not enough to run my factory.
Indeed. Thank you so much, Chief Eriko Umeofioa, agriculturist and tomato paste producer. I hope you brought some for us.
Finish? Yes.
We have invites, right?
Yes.
Okay. We have an invite to visit Islam.
Yes, I invited you already.
Okay, fine.
Is
All right,
it finished?
thank you so much. Yes, thank you
you
very much.
Okay, so it's time for news update, and I is here for that.